When I go to an amusement park, I look for the positives here. I don't look at the negatives. And Batman the Ride at Six Flags Great Adventure kind of gave me a little negative sign. Welcome to this coaster review. As today's coaster review, we're reviewing a really surprise roller coaster that really surprised me on the Elf Force journey. This is Batman the Ride at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. This is a B&M invert, and this is one of three B&M inverts that I didn't like, and three in the northeast of the United States, because I think there are only three B&M inverts in the northeast United States, and Batman the Ride is a B&M invert I didn't like. I don't know what happened to it, but I just didn't like Batman the Ride. Here's the thing. I've rated two fantastic B&M inverts that are in my top 10. Great Bear and Talent. And when you talk about, there's one B&M invert that's in my top 5. So I don't know why I dislike Batman the Ride more than Talon and Great Bear, because Talon and Great Bear, both of them are fantastic roller coasters. Batman the Ride, I just didn't like. So this coaster is really jerky. It's really jerky. I'd say this is one of the worst roller coasters at Great Adventure. One of the least coasters at Great Adventure. Green Lantern, I say it's way worse than Batman the Ride. Green Lantern's way worse than Batman the Ride. But the loops were fun, but the twist, the zero G roll and the corkscrews, they really just do some lot of headbanging and jerkiness. This wasn't a really comfortable ride. So let's go through queue line and stuff like that. First of all, when you get into the queue, you might get a mix because you got Nitro right next to it, and Nitro and Batman the Ride kind of have like the same color scheme a little bit, because both of them have like a yellow track color scheme. But when you through the queue line, the theme is really cool. The theming's really cool. It's like this. It's like in a metal thing or something. The station's all like tucked up in around metals and stuff like that. But the station is pretty much like tucked in, like it's like metal. Like there's lots of metal around the stations. Like I never seen it before. I'm sure most Batman clones have it. Batman Dark Knight at New England doesn't have metal around it. It just has like a normal station. It does have metal a little bit though. But yeah. So when you go through the so when you the trains were the trains kind of look, it's B&M invert style, so yeah, the trains are just B&M inverts. Here's I feel like actually not they're actually not B&M inverts, actually. My bad. But I felt like this is like really different restraints. Like Batman the Ride, I feel like has different restraints, like a different shoulder bar. It doesn't have like B&M style over your shoulder restraints, like Batman Dark Knight, Talon, Great Bear. Those all three have the same B&M restraints. And I think Bizarre also has the same B&M over your shoulders. While Batman the Ride had it a little bit more skinnier, the over your shoulder restraint, like a little bit more skinnier. Like the other B&Ms, they have a fat of the shoulder and the shoulder near your shoulder. It's like a little bit fat, but Batman the Rides was a little skinnier. So that's maybe what happened that made the problem. So let's go through ride experience, and I think this will question a lot of people. First up, when you go to the lift hill, there's like a lift hill, and then you take this pre-drop, a pre-drop similar to Talon, has a pre-drop as well, and then you bank left, and then you go through the first loop. The loop was fun, actually. Loop wasn't bad. It was actually pretty smooth. The loop. It was really intense and smooth. And I think that might be my favorite part are on the ride, the loops. And then when you after the loops, you go through the zero G roll, which is terrible. I didn't like the zero G roll at all. It had lots of headbanging. The zero G roll really had lots of headbanging. Um, yeah, it had really like lots of headbanging. Then you go through a second loop. That loop wasn't bad, and then you go through twists and corkscrews, which were really jerky. Like they were really jerky. It was not comfortable. I was like, oh, where? Like it was just like really jerky. It wasn't that. It was a little bit of roughness, but there was a little bit of rattle. Talent had a little bit of a rattle, and I still enjoyed it. So but Batman the Ride, it was just main problem was it's just jerky. Um, that's why I didn't like it. That's why I didn't enjoy it. So you guys are probably wondering what I'm gonna give it for a score. I'm gonna rate it a 3. Yes, you probably are a little surprised, but there are some roller coasters that I do get bad rides on. I got a bad ride on Batman the Ride. I even rode it twice, and um, I even rode it twice, and I still didn't get a. I still got a bad ride on it. So yeah, people get bad rides on it. And it's same. Like think of Untamed at Canopy Lake Park in New Hampshire. That one I got a bad ride on. So yeah, there are some coasters that I did get bad rides on. I was expecting Green Lantern to be bad, but I was not expecting Batman the Ride or Untamed to be bad. But yep. So and even I actually bought a pass to go on Batman the Ride because I thought how fun it is. Well, bummer. I'd rather be spending that pass riding Nitro and El Toro more than Batman the Ride. So, what are your thoughts on Batman the Ride? Um, please, if you want to tune me in the comment section, please do that politely. Yes, this is everyone's opinion. I didn't enjoy Batman the Ride, so if you want to tune me in the comics, like I said, please do it politely. We don't want any mean trolls in the comic section. Yeah. So, and stay tuned for more Coast Box, and I'll see you guys later.